Welcome everyone. My name is Gayle, and in this practice we're going to be stretching and strengthening. So this is going to be relatively short practice, maybe about 15 to 20 minutes, and it's time to just have fun and build a little strength, build a little flexibility, and see what happens. So let's start standing in Tadasana. So look down at your feet, lift and spread all 10 toes. Keep the space between your toes as you lower your toes down. Isometrically draw your big toe mounds towards your heels to create a lift in your inner arch. On your next inhale, reach your arms up and think of filling up, almost like a parachute inside. So you've got this buoyancy and this lift. And then as you exhale, relax and lower down. Good. Inhale, lift up. Reach up through your fingertips. Fill up your lungs. And as you exhale, let your arms soften down by your sides. This time, if you want to add on, you can come up onto your toes. So inhale, lift up, reach up, hug your legs in towards each other, get as tall as you can, and exhale, softly lower down. So really see if you can tune into your breath as you inhale and lift and fill up and get bigger and lighter. And then as you exhale, there's a softening, a little bit of a contraction and returning back to neutral. Again, inhale, lift up nice and tall, reach up tall, 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 tall. And exhale, release your hands down. On your next inhalation, sweep your arms up. And on your exhale, lower your hands down to the floor. Step back into plank. We're going to play with a little strength here. So rotate your heels to the right, reach your left arm up, lower your left hand down, rotate your heels to the left, reach your right arm up. And we'll do that one more time each side, rotating the heels, twisting to the opposite side. Good, and then lower your forearm to the floor, left forearm to the floor, and right forearm to the floor. And then come back onto your left hand and back onto your right hand. We're just gonna slowly lower down one forearm at a time, one hand at a time, and come on back into plank. Good, bend your knees, stretch your hips way back to your down dog. Lift up through your sit bones and up through the front hip flexors so you can get your weight back into your legs. And you can bend your knees. You can just kind of play around here, doing whatever feels fun for you. On your next inhale, round forward to plank. And on your exhale, lift your hips up and back to your down dog. And inhale, round forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Step your left foot in a little bit, reach your right leg up. Keep reaching your leg behind you. And then pull your heel to your hip, your knee to your chest. Step your right foot forward into high lunge. Then we're gonna lift the whole front of our foot, pressing down through the heel, reaching back through the hips and forward through the chest. And then press off the back foot, float your back leg up, standing splits. And you could bend and straighten your top leg, really reach out through your toes, and lightly step back into crescent lunge. Now you're welcome to use blocks underneath your hands here. And we're just gonna kind of glide forward and back, pressing off the back toes, and then pushing, lifting the front toes up, pushing back. And just go back and forth a couple more times. And then next time, press forward again. Rise up. Stack your hips, open the hips, and parallel your hips. And just go back and forth a couple of times. And reach your left leg out to the left, keeping it as high as you can. Lower it back down. Place your hands, step back to plank. And a couple more of those little plank down dog waves, back and forth. Nice and smooth. And then from down dog, step your right foot in a little bit, reach your left leg up. Reach it back, 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 and hug your heel to your hip, your knee to your chest, and step your foot forward. High lunge. Straighten the front leg. Kind of press back and forth. Next time we're going to press off our back toes, come up to standing splits, and just reach out through your toes, and step, and then circle. Let's see. Okay. So from our left lunge, begin to straighten your front leg. And just go back and forth. Lifting your front foot up, reaching your hips back, lowering the back heel down if you can, and then pressing forward. Just nice and slow and easy. Next time, press off your back foot, reach your right leg really tall as you can, and then stack your hips and parallel the hips. So you don't want to be swinging your leg behind you. You just want to be rotating at the hips, stacking, going from an internal rotation when your hips are parallel to the ground to an external rotation when the hips are stacked. Next time you're externally rotated, see if you can swing that leg, keep it high, bring it all the way forward into your forward fold. And just kind of swirl your hips around here a little bit. Step back into plank again. Keep your back nice and strong and steady. You can keep the knees lifted or lowered. Slowly lower all the way down. Point your toes, curl your chest forward and up into your cobra. And exhale, melt back to the floor. Inhale, stay strong and open. Open up. And exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes. Press back to your down dog. So step your left foot in a little bit, reach your right leg up. Pull your heel to your hip, your knee to your chest, and this time come forward. See if you can tap your knee on your upper right arm. And reach back. And come forward and tap. Reach back. Forward and tap. Reach back. This time we're going to step it all the way forward. Coming into crescent lunge. Keep your back heel lifted, rise up. Interlace your fingers behind your back and push into your feet, lift up through your chest, reach back through your arms. Keep your arms clasped and begin to shift forward into your front foot, float your back leg off the floor, coming into Warrior 3 variation. Hold here for a breath. And step your legs back. Release your arms, open up, crescent lunge. Bring your hands back down and step back to your downward facing dog. Other side, step your right foot in a little bit, reach your left leg up. First reach way back, finding that stretch, and then contract, hug your heel to your hip, your knee to your chest. See if you can tap your knee on your upper arm and reach back. Hug in, come forward and tap. Reach back, come forward and tap. And this time we're going to step forward into our crescent lunge. Rise up. Elegantly, gracefully, and powerfully. Bring your hands behind your back again, and this time interlace your fingers so the opposite pinky is on top. Reach back first, open up to your heart, and start to lean forward. Bring your weight into your left leg. Float the back leg up, coming into warrior three. We'll just hold here for breath. And then reach back through your toes. Lightly step back into your crescent lunge. Open up. And step back to your downward facing dog. Come up onto your toes. Walk your feet forward. Lower your feet down. Lift and spread all 10 toes. Keep the spread as you lower the toes down. Press into the earth. Rise all the way up to stand. Bring your hands to your heart center. And take a moment. Pause. Ground. Open. Reflect. So that you can feel this embodiment of all these different sensations that come from this movement of contracting inward to create some strength and stability, and expanding outward, getting bigger and more open and more flexible and more fluid. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up. On your exhale, forward fold. Place your hands, step back to plank. Lower all the way down. Point your toes, curl up into your cobra. Arcing into your upper back, keeping the legs strong and active. You could even think of trying to flex your toes into the ground to engage your legs even more. Stretch your tailbone towards your heels so there's a little bit of a lift underneath your belly, so you can bring the curve up into your upper back. Lower all the way down. Tuck your toes and see if you can lift up through your waist. First, press up into plank and back to downward facing dog. Step your left foot in, reach your right leg up. Reach back first, find the stretch, and then squeeze your heel into your hip, pull your knee into your chest, using all the strength that you have, or using a good bit of strength, and step your foot forward. Crescent lunge, rise up. And open up, warrior two. Press into your feet. Engage your legs so there's a contraction inward and an expansion outward. Inhale, reach up and back. Reverse your warrior. And then we'll come forward into side angle pose. First, resting our forearm on our thigh. Press from your back foot all the way up through your fingertips. Then reach up and back again. Reverse your warrior. You can either come back to forearm on your thigh, or maybe this time you bring your hand to the inside of your front foot, reaching the top arm forward again. And inhale, back up. Reach back, reverse your warrior. And again, you can rest your forearm on your thigh, or you could bring your hand to the outside of your leg. A nice long stretch. Good, inhale, back up. Reverse your warrior. Windmill the arms, step back to your down dog. Step the right foot in a little bit, reach the left leg up and back. Squeeze your heel to your hip, pull your knee into your chest, step your foot forward. Crescent lunge, rise up. Open up, warrior two. Ground down through your feet. Lift up through your heart. Find that balance of this contraction and downward movement, balancing with this outward and upward expansion. Inhale, reach up and back. Reverse your warrior. Come forward, rest your forearm on your thigh. Come into side angle, reaching the right arm over your ear. Inhale, reach up and back, reverse your warrior. And this time, if you want, you can bring your hand to the inside of your front leg, reaching your top arm forward. Come on, up and back, reverse your warrior. And maybe this time bring your hand to the outside of your front leg, coming back into side angle pose. Reach back, reverse your warrior. And windmill your arms. Step back to downward facing dog. And just bend one knee at a time. On your next inhale, sweep your right leg up. Reach back, back, back. Stretch out through your toes and squeeze your heel to your hip. Squeeze your knee to your chest. Step your foot forward. Rise up, crescent lunge. And just take a moment to ground down through your legs, hug into the midline. Establish this grounding strength that we're going to take off and come into a little kind of flight. So with your arms reached up, step into your front foot, float the back leg up, arms out to the side. We're just going to bend one knee at a time. And just, it's like you're flying. You imagine that your arms are like wings. You're bending your standing leg, keeping the core engaged. So you can just kind of float your way into flight. And then step back into your crescent lunge. Open up. Bring your hands back down. Step back to your downward facing dog. We'll play with the other side. So first take a little rest here, down dog. You could even rest in child's pose if you like. And know that your first side is kind of teaching your second side. But both sides could be different. Like my left side is a little weaker, so it's a little more challenging for me sometimes on the left side. But part of that is strength, and part of it's balance and placement and timing and breathing. So stretch your left leg up and back, and squeeze your heel to your hip. Squeeze your knee to your chest. Step your foot forward, rise up, crescent lunge. Open up through your heart. Find that big expansive energy that's going to help you to fly, as well as the grounding energy that's going to like enable you to fly. And press off your back foot, reach your arms out to the side, float your back leg up, and bend your knee. And just think of your shoulders and your arms like wings. Just going nice and slowly. Couple more times. And step it back to crescent lunge. Reach your arms up and back. And come back to downward facing dog. Well, this time, maybe play with hopping forward. So to hop forward, it helps to walk your feet in just a little bit, and you want a lot of spring. So really, you kind of bend down, get close to the ground, and then when you push off, you're pushing off your legs, and as you come forward, there's going to be a point when your hips are coming forward, you want your hips to be up, that you have to push into the ground to change the momentum from forward to up. So just practice bending the knees a little bit, and then push off your knees, push off your feet, and hop all the way forward. Press into the earth, rise all the way up. Now let's play with some standing balance poses. They're really going to require the combination of strength and some flexibility. I'm going to give you a couple of options, so just think of this as an experiment. Maybe it's something you've done before and it's pretty easy, or it might be the first time you're trying this and it's a little bit challenging. So start with Tadasana feet, mountain feet. Lift and spread your toes. Lower the toes down, keeping the space if you can. Isometrically pull your big toe mounds towards your heels to engage and lift the inner arch. Take a deep breath in through your nose and reach your arms up. Now here's where you can either take your right hand to your outside of your left knee, or you can pick your knee up a little higher and grab the outside edge of your foot. Think of strong, firm foundation as you straighten your leg. Keep this leg nice and strong and maybe circle your arm back, coming into a twist. Maybe gaze back. That's what gets tricky, is gazing back. And sweep your arm back forward again. Release your foot, keep your leg lifted, and slowly lower everything down. All right, let's try the second side. So again, ground down through your feet, spread the toes to give you a nice wide base. Lift the inner arch to provide that extra strength and balance. Make sure your weight is even between the front and the back of your foot. So reach your right knee up. Either hold on to the outside of your right knee with your left hand, or the outside of your right foot with your left hand. If you're holding your foot, straighten your leg. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other and twist to the right. Maybe gaze back at your right hand. And slowly bring your right arm back forward again. Release your foot, reach your arms up, and slowly lower your arms and legs down. All right, so hopefully that felt good. And actually, you know what? Let's try that one more time each side, because a lot of times we just do something once or twice and then we never quite master it, but we try it again. You might find that your body has kind of figured something out, and the balance between like the strength and the flexibility, and it might feel a little bit easier. So let's start again. Pull the left knee up. Either hold your knee or your foot. If you're holding your foot, straighten your leg and sweep your left arm up and back, twisting from your core, gazing back at your hand or keeping your gaze forward. And so just sweep your arm back, release your foot, reach up, and slowly lower your arms and your leg back down. All right, remember to keep a sense of levity about all this. If you fall, no big deal. As a matter of fact, if you're not falling once in a while, that means you're not challenging yourself enough and you're not going to grow as much and learn as much. So falling, no big deal. Other side, inhale, pull your right knee up. Either hold on to your right knee or the outside edge of your right foot. If you're holding your foot, straighten your leg. Stay nice and steady and grounded, and start to twist from your waist, from your ribs, from your back. Maybe gazing back at your hand. And start to bring your arm back forward again. Release your foot. Reach up nice and tall. And slowly lower down. All right, so maybe just circle the hips a little bit. And let's come into a squat. Now, you can stay here in the squat and relax, or you can play with crow pose. It's a kind of beginner arm balance pose. So if you want to play with crow pose, and yours have a practice, you can go for it. Otherwise, stay with me here, and we're going to spread our fingers, bend the elbows, lift up on our toes to bring the knees either into the armpits or on the outside of the arms, hugging in strongly. Keep your elbows a little bent and think of puffing up through your back. Okay, and then we're just going to gently shift our weight forward, getting weight into the hands, pressing into the hands, lifting up through the back of the heart. And rock back. So first we're just going to play with getting more weight into our hands. And then you can play with lifting one foot up, lower it down, lift the other foot up, lower it down. And if you want to go for the full crow pose, I would advise going really slowly and just taking it one little bit at a time, one breath at a time. And if you're ready for it, when you shift your weight forward enough and keep your gaze forward of your fingers, it'll feel like your feet get so light that they almost just want to float off the ground. And then pull your heels in towards your hips. Lower back down. And let's come onto our backs. So hug your knees into your chest and just circle around your feet. Circle around your hips. Circle your feet around your hips and circle the other direction. Open your arms out to the side and gently twist your legs over to the right. Let everything relax here. Nice relaxing twist. And we'll just stay here for a couple of breaths. Just relaxing, letting go. Now pull your left hip back to the ground to bring your knees up and twist all the way across to your left. Letting your legs rest on the ground. Letting both shoulders relax. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. And pull your right hips back down to come back to center. Center your hips. Hold the back of your thighs with your hands and widen your knees as wide as your ribs. Press out through your big toe mounds to engage your feet and to think that you're trying to make kind of a flat surface, as if you were stepping on something flat. And lift your feet up. Start to reach your hands up, and if you can keep your shoulders on the floor and reach your feet, then hold your feet. If you can't, just hold any place on your legs. Gently rock from side to side. And release your feet, lower your feet to the floor as wide as your mat. Open your arms out to the side and gently twist from side to side. You could think of it as a windshield wiper action from side to side. Nice and slow, so you can feel your range of motion and maybe extend a little bit further than you might if you were just moving back and forth quickly. Reach out through that top knee. So if you're twisting to the right, reach out through the left knee, almost like you're aiming your knee towards your other foot. You're aiming your left knee towards your right foot. And come back to center. Stretch out through your right knee as you twist to the left. Good, come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. And stretch out for sweet Savasana. Letting everything rest on the earth. See if you can feel your whole back resting on the floor with maybe just a teeny bit of space underneath the low back. But aim to have your back ribs, the low back ribs, on the floor. And let your body get really soft with your breath. Savasana, the ultimate letting go, the ultimate surrender. And we actually need a little bit of surrender in almost everything we do. So even if we're determined and we work hard, it doesn't mean that we don't have the attitude of surrender. So if something doesn't work out exactly the way we want it to, we're not super devastated or disappointed, rather just take it as learning. Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb, he said something like he learned how not to invent a light bulb, I don't know, 10,000 times. I don't remember how many tries, but he didn't let it discourage him. He was just like, okay, that's not the way to do it. So remember that, having that delightful attitude with a sense of humor. And I'm going to be quiet now and just let you relax, listen to the music, focus on your breath. You're welcome to stay here a little bit longer, or if you're ready to come out of your Savasana with me, begin to bring some gentle movement into your body. Maybe stretching out through your fingers and toes. And with your eyes closed, whenever you're ready, bend your knees and gently roll to your side. And pause, just to absorb all the sensations you may be feeling, physically, mentally, emotionally. And notice how it feels to feel strong and flexible and open at the same time. To find that balance. The balance of grace, strength. That gives you want to balance those two energies out, and that gives you the ability to balance as well. Now, keeping your eyes closed, gently press and roll your way up to a comfortable seat. Notice how it feels to be grounded through your sit bones, but uplifted through your breath, through your chest, through the top of your head. And feel the balance of those two energies supporting each other. Please bring your hands together in front of your heart with an attitude of gratitude. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your willingness to play around and have some fun, and to, the dedication and determination to build some strength as well as flexibility. Namaste. And I hope to see you on the mat again soon.